If you're headed to Iceland, you've probably heard of both of these dreamy geothermal spas. I tried both, so in today's video, I'll be comparing my experiences at the Blue Lagoon and Sky Lagoon, so you can decide which one you want to book tickets for, because they aren't cheap and they are different. I'll be comparing the pricing, what being in the lagoons was actually like, the dressing rooms, and the available activities. The Blue Lagoon costed $141.22 per person, and the Sky Lagoon costed $103.93 per person, but the packages looked a little different. We were able to make reservations online ahead of time, but you can take a risk and buy tickets in person. The ticket for the Blue Lagoon included a bathrobe, 2 drinks at the swim-up bar, which I enjoyed, 3 face masks, and access to the main lagoon and general admission locker shower rooms. The ticket for the Sky Lagoon included a visit through their 7-step ritual, access to the Infinity Edge Lagoon, and a locker shower room. Okay, so what was it actually like to be in the lagoons? The Blue Lagoon's iconic milky blue waters did feel really unique and special, especially because of the cool mist smokiness of the warm water hitting the cold air. And it's pretty neat to know that the water actually has health benefits for your skin due to the presence of algae, silica, and other natural minerals in it. So I thought it might feel slimy, but it didn't at all. But the only downside of the water is that it's terrible for your hair. If you get your hair in the water, it can become really dry and straw-like, and also can tarnish jewelry. So make sure you tie up your hair and leave your jewelry in the locker. The Sky Lagoon's water is different because it's clear and lightly chlorinated. So I haven't heard any concerns with hair or jewelry there, but better safe than sorry. An interesting thing I noticed was, despite the Blue Lagoon being a huge tourist attraction, it's pretty massive at 94,000 square feet, which is almost double the size of the Sky Lagoon, which is about 50,000 square feet. The Blue Lagoon was so spacious, parts of our group got separated at certain points, and it didn't feel crowded except at the swim-up bar and the mass station. But maybe that's because we went in September, when children are in school, and September is also not considered peak tourist season. If you're considering the Blue Lagoon for a spa experience, it was a little noisy at times, which didn't bother me, but you can easily wander and find little corners for a more peaceful experience. How was the temperature of the water? I usually run cold and love hot showers, so I was a little concerned that the water might not be hot enough for my liking since it was so cold out. But the water ended up being super warm and comfortable for me to soak for hours in both lagoons. There were definitely less people at the Sky Lagoon, but still a decent amount of people, but it never felt crowded, even though it's smaller than the Blue Lagoon. The design felt natural, almost like it's carved into the cliffs by the ocean. Pro tip: aim to go during the sunset on a clear day, because being in this warm infinity pool with this view felt so amazing. There were swim-up bars at both lagoons, but I didn't see anything I wanted to order at the Sky Lagoon, whereas I really enjoyed the 2 fruit drinks at the Blue Lagoon. Both lagoons had saunas, steam rooms, and cold plunges. But the saunas at the Sky Lagoon were a lot nicer than the sauna at the Blue Lagoon. It felt bigger with a better view of the water, and I liked that they had clean towels for use right before and after. The biggest difference in activities between the 2 lagoons was that the Blue Lagoon focused on specialty face masks and having the freedom to go to the sauna, steam rooms, cold plunge, however many times you want in whatever order you want, while the Sky Lagoon focused more on a one-time step-by-step experience where you do a cold plunge, sauna, cold mist, salt and oil body scrub, steam room, and a wholesome shot of crowberries at the end. But you can keep rotating between the cold plunge, sauna, and the lagoon as many times as you wanted as well. We heard that some people have seen the northern lights while they were in both lagoons, but we ended up leaving the Blue Lagoon before nightfall. But at the Sky Lagoon, we stayed pretty late to see if they'd be visible that night, and We didn't see them, but seeing the starry skies while soaking in the Sky Lagoon was calming and felt like I was floating through space. But we saw them on the way home. The last biggest difference were the changing shower locker rooms. At the Sky Lagoon, you can pay extra for more private changing rooms, but for the general admission or the ticket I paid for, there's only semi-private dividers in the locker sections. But I just changed really quickly when there were less people in my section. But at the Blue Lagoon, they had a private changing room at each locker section, which I appreciated, and I didn't have to wait to use it either. My friend said that she liked the design of the Sky Lagoon's locker room setup more, and I agree. It was more stylish. But I personally liked the showers at the Blue Lagoon a little more because they smelled and seemed cleaner. Both lagoons had cool, efficient wristband locker technology that allowed you to just tap your locker to lock and unlock it.